Have you ever had one of those mornings where you technically slept, yet you wake up feeling like your body didn't get the memo? Your eyes open, the clock says you got enough hours, but your head feels heavy, your mood is off, and everything inside you is slow, like you're starting the day with a low battery. And the worst part is how confusing it feels. One night you sleep 5 hours and somehow you're fine. Another night you sleep 8 hours, and you wake up tired, irritated, even a little angry for no clear reason. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know something important right away. You're not broken, and you're not lazy. In most cases, this isn't about sleeping more. It's about waking up at the wrong time. And today, I'm going to give you a way to fix that. This video is for anyone. Students, parents, business owners, people with normal 9-to-5 jobs, people working night shifts, anyone who wants to wake up feeling steady and clear instead of groggy and emotionally fragile. Because when you wake up tired, you don't just lose energy. You lose your patience, you lose your focus, you lose your best self. And a day that starts wrong often ends wrong. Here's the promise. By the end of this video, you'll understand 2 things. First, why you can wake up exhausted even if you slept a lot. Second, how to choose wake-up times that make you feel lighter and more stable, even on nights when you go to bed late. And I'll also give you a simple emergency plan for those nights when it's already 1 a.m., but you still have to get up before 6 a.m., without relying on extra medicine, energy drinks, or wishful thinking. Before we go into solutions, we have to start with something people usually skip. The mechanism. The reason. The why. Because if you jump straight to a hack without understanding the root, you might apply the wrong fix, and you'll end up even more frustrated. You'll think, I tried everything and nothing works, when the truth is, you tried the right idea at the wrong time. So today we'll do it in 2 parts. Part 1 is the diagnosis, the simple science of how sleep actually works, explained in a way you don't need a medical degree to understand. Part 2 is the cure, the method you can use starting tonight, including a practical formula you can calculate in less than a minute. Now, quick test. Don't overthink it. Just answer in your head. Think about the mornings you felt the most tired. Were you woken up by an alarm? And did you press snooze? If the answer is yes, that's not a coincidence. That's a clue. And in a few minutes, you'll know exactly why. Let me also say one thing clearly. This topic is connected to health. So we need to be responsible. I'm not here to diagnose medical conditions. If your fatigue is severe, lasts for months, or comes with symptoms that worry you, it's smart to talk with a health professional. But for many people, the daily wake-up tired problem comes from something surprisingly simple. And once you understand it, you can improve it quickly. Here's what most people believe about sleep. They think sleep is like a straight line. You go to bed at 10 p.m., you sleep until 6 a.m., the alarm rings, you wake up, done. Like a phone charging overnight. But human sleep does not work like that. Sleep is not a straight line, it's a cycle, and your morning energy depends heavily on where you are inside that cycle when you wake up. That's the key idea we're building toward, and once you see it, the rest becomes obvious. So stay with me for this first part. If you understand the mechanism, the method in part 2 will feel like common sense. At the end of part 1, I'll summarize the 2 conditions for a good wake-up. And then, in part 2, I'll show you how to hit those conditions on purpose, especially when your schedule isn't perfect. And remember this, if you learn how sleep cycles work, you stop being a victim of your alarm clock. You start controlling your mornings. Now we move into the diagnosis, the part that sounds scientific, but I promise I'll keep it clear and practical. Because the goal isn't for you to memorize terms. The goal is for you to understand one simple truth. Your body doesn't wake up the same way at every moment of the night. Let's start with the biggest misunderstanding. Most people measure sleep by hours: 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. They treat sleep like a bucket. The more hours you pour in, the better you should feel. And that sounds logical, until you notice reality doesn't behave that way. Reality is, sometimes 7 hours leaves you exhausted, and sometimes 5 hours feels surprisingly okay. That's the sign that the bucket model is incomplete. A better model is a set of repeating waves. Human sleep moves in cycles, roughly 90 minutes per cycle. Think of a cycle like a loop your body runs again and again during the night. Inside each loop, your brain and body pass through different stages. Some stages are light and flexible. Some stages are deep and heavy. And here is the core rule that explains your morning fatigue. If you wake up during deep sleep, you'll feel terrible, even if you slept many hours. If you wake up near the end of a cycle, you'll feel much lighter, even if you slept fewer hours. Now let's make the cycle real in your mind. Imagine you lie down in bed. You close your eyes. At first you're drifting. You're not fully asleep yet, but you're letting go. This is the first stage. Call it the lull. It's the doorway. Then you move into light sleep. Your breathing slows down. Your muscles relax. You're sleeping now, but if a noise happens, you might still wake up easily. This light sleep is actually a big portion of the night. Your body uses it more than people realize. After that, you descend into deep sleep, and then even deeper sleep. These are the stages where your body is truly trying to recover. Your nervous system is calm. Your organs are resting. Your brain is doing internal maintenance. In that deepest stage, you're offline. Then you enter REM sleep, the stage where you're still asleep, but your brain becomes active in a different way. This is where vivid dreaming often happens. Your eyes move under your eyelids, but your arms and legs are temporarily disabled so you don't act out your dreams. It's like your brain is awake in a locked room. Those are the stages. Now here's the important part. After you pass through those stages, the cycle ends, and then a new cycle begins again. The same pattern repeats. This is why sleep is not a straight line. It's more like stairs going down and up, down and up. And now we can answer the question, why do you wake up tired? Because deep sleep is not a stage your body can exit smoothly on command. If your alarm yanks you out of the deepest stage, your body reacts like someone turning on a factory while all the machines are still cold. Your brain is confused. Your nervous system is shocked. Your mood becomes fragile. You wake up irritated, heavy, even anxious. And sometimes you feel angry for no reason, not because the day is bad, but because your body was forced to restart from the wrong place. That morning feeling has a name: sleep inertia. It's the fog and heaviness after waking, especially when waking from deep sleep. Now here's a detail that matters. If you wake up in light sleep, you might feel slightly tired but still functional. If you wake up a bit deeper, you'll feel more tired. If you wake up at the deepest point, you're the unlucky one. Your body feels like it's fighting the world. And this explains something you've probably noticed. You can wake up after 8 hours and still feel worse than after 6 hours, because 8 hours isn't a magic number. 8 hours can place you in the middle of deep sleep, depending on your cycle timing. Meanwhile, 6 hours might accidentally place you near the end of a cycle. So the real question isn't how many hours did you sleep. The better question is, where in the cycle did you wake up? Now, before we jump to the solution, I want to lock in 2 conditions for a good morning. Condition number 1, You need enough cycles, not just enough hours, enough cycles. For many people, around 5 cycles is a solid target. 5 cycles is roughly 7.5 hours of actual sleep time. It's not perfect for everyone, but it's a common sweet spot. Condition number 2. You want to wake up at a transition point, near the end of a cycle, not the middle of deep sleep. If you hit both conditions, your morning usually feels much smoother. You feel calmer. You feel more stable. You feel like you can start the day without fighting yourself. And now you might be thinking, okay, that makes sense. But how do I control that? I don't know what stage I'm in. I'm asleep. Exactly. That's why part 2 exists. In the next part, I'll show you a simple way to estimate your cycle timing, so you can choose wake-up times that work with your biology instead of against it. And I'll show you how to use it for normal nights and for emergency nights. But before that, one more warning that can save you. Even if you wake up at the perfect moment, you can ruin it by lying in bed and drifting back to sleep. Because once you go back in, you might fall into deep sleep again. And then you wake up from the wrong stage, and you feel worse than before. This is why the snooze button feels good for 5 minutes, but it often steals the next 2 hours of your day. So keep that in mind. The solution isn't just a number, it's also a behavior. All right, if you understand this diagnosis, the cure will feel very simple. Let's move to the method. Now we get to the method, the part you can actually use tonight. And it's intentionally simple because the best system is the one you can do even when you're tired. Here's the core idea. If sleep tends to move in roughly 90-minute cycles, you can estimate the easiest moments to wake up by planning around those cycles. You're not trying to be perfect. You're trying to avoid the worst-case scenario, being yanked out of the deepest stage. So we use one simple formula. Wake-up time, bedtime plus 90 minutes x number of cycles, plus x. 90 minutes onto one cycle. Number of cycles, torque usually 3 to 6. Simplicity. The time it takes you to fall asleep after you lie down. If you don't know your x yet, start with a reasonable default like 10 to 20 minutes. If you want one number, use 14 minutes as a starting point. The point is, you'll adjust it later based on your own results. Now let's make this real with quick examples. Example 1. Bedtime 10:06 p.m. If you choose 5 cycles, that's 90 minutes, x 5 on 7 hours, 30 minutes. 10:06 p.m. plus 7:30 on 5:30 a.m. add x, 14 minutes, 5:44 a.m. So if you go to bed at 10 p.m., one cycle-friendly wake time is around 5:44 a.m. Example 2. Bedtime 1:04 a.m. If you choose 5 cycles, 1:00 a.m. plus 7:30 for 8:30 a.m. add 14 minutes, 8:44 a.m. So if you sleep at 1:00 a.m. and you're allowed to sleep in, around 8:44 a.m. is a cycle-friendly target. Now, the key isn't that these numbers are magical. The key is that they're planned exits. Instead of waking at a random point, you're aiming near a boundary where your body is more likely to transition upward. Next, the practical question: how many cycles should you choose? Real life isn't always 5 cycles, so here's a simple, usable range. 3 cycles for 4 hours, 30 minutes. 4 cycles, 6 hours. 5 cycles, 7 hours, 30 minutes. 6 cycles, 9 hours. Then add x. That's the system. You don't need more than this. Now do this 30-second exercise with me, because this turns the idea into control. Write down tonight's realistic bedtime, not your dream bedtime. Under it, write these 4 options. Bedtime plus 4:30 plus x, 3 cycles. Bedtime plus 6 x, 4 cycles. Bedtime plus 7:30 plus x, 5 cycles. Bedtime plus 9 psych, plus X, 6 cycles. Pick the option that fits your morning obligations. That's it. Now let's handle the exact scenario that triggers the most anxiety. It's 1 a.m. and you must wake up before 6 a.m. 5 cycles, or 8:44 a.m., not possible. 4 cycles, 7:14 a.m., not possible. 3 cycles, 5:44 a.m., possible. So in an emergency night like that, your least damage option is often 3 cycles, landing near a boundary. It won't make you feel like you slept 8 hours, but it can reduce the chance you wake from the deepest stage right when your day starts. 2 quick notes so you apply this correctly. These are estimates, not guarantees. Stress, late meals, alcohol, bright screens, these can shift your timing. We're improving probabilities, not chasing perfection. Your X matters. If you usually take 30 minutes to fall asleep, your target time will drift. That's why we'll personalize it in the next part with a simple 7-day test. Now that you have the method, the final piece is protecting it. How to handle late nights, how to avoid sabotaging the wake-up, and how to fine-tune it to your body so it becomes reliable. Now we turn the method into a real-life system, one that works on normal nights and messy nights. Because it's not enough to know the formula. You need a plan for when life isn't perfect. Here's a simple way to think about it. You choose a cycle target, then you protect the wake-up. 1. The late-night emergency checklist, fast and practical. If it's late and you have a hard wake-up deadline, use this order. First, check whether 5 cycles fits. If yes, choose it. If not, check 4 cycles. If not, use 3 cycles as the emergency tool. So for the 1 a.m., before 6 a.m. situation, 1 plus, 4:30, X, 5:44 a.m., with X around 14 minutes. And here's the mindset that saves people. Don't anchor to round wake times like 6 a.m. just because they look clean. Your body doesn't care about round numbers. It cares where you are in the cycle. 2. Protect the wake-up. The biggest mistake is tiny. Even if you hit a good boundary, you can ruin it by drifting back in. So keep this rule. When the alarm hits, stand up. Not a motivational speech, just a strategy. Standing up breaks the slide back into deeper sleep. If you struggle with snooze, make it physically harder. Phone across the room, or an alarm you must get up to turn off. The goal is simple. Don't accidentally start a new cycle you can't finish. 3. A gentle morning rescue when you still feel foggy. Some mornings you'll feel heavy anyway, because sleep is multi-factor. Here's a safe, simple sequence that helps many people clear sleep inertia. Light. Open the curtain or turn on a bright light. Water. A few sips right away. Movement. 30-60 seconds. Walk, stretch, shake out arms, slow breathing. Small actions. Big signal to your nervous system. Day has started. 4. Make it personal. The 7-day X test. This is what makes it reliable. The biggest reason people say, "I tried it, still tired," is that their X was wrong, or their sleep timing shifted. So you don't guess forever. You test for 1 week. For 7 days, write down time you got into bed, which cycle option you used, 3, 4, 5, 6, your planned wake time, energy score in the first 30 minutes, or 1 to 10, snooze, yes, no. At the end of 7 days, adjust. If you keep waking too early and sleepy, your X might be longer. Add 5 to 10 minutes. If you keep waking foggy, you may be waking deeper than expected. Tweak X and protect the wake-up harder. No drifting back in. Now let's close this video in a way you can remember and reuse. Before we close, here's the simplest way to remember everything. Pick a realistic bedtime, count forward in 90-minute blocks, then add a small buffer for falling asleep. 3 cycles is about 4 hours 30 minutes. 4 cycles is about 6 hours. 5 cycles is about 7 hours 30 minutes. 6 cycles is about 9 hours. Then add your X. And if you want to make it reliable, do the 7-day test. bedtime, cycle choice, wake target, energy score, and whether you hit snooze. After a week, you'll know your real X, and you'll stop guessing. Thank you for watching. If you want, comment your usual bedtime and your required wake-up time, and I'll tell you which cycle options fit best, 3, 4, or 5, based on the method we covered today.